Hello everyone, this is Cool Pro 195 streaming live with my StarTech USB3HDCAP showcase live stream. Or HDCAP, however you like to pronounce it, and some of you may have been aware that originally I planned to do this after my previous showcase live stream that I did, which was the Dingo Crash t-shirt, which was also a courtesy of Dingo Crash, with him also making a guest appearance within the commentary. And the reason why that didn't happen afterwards, like straight away, the reason why it eventually came to that was because the household it started to build up in terms of, like, you know, the whole noise level, and I just can't have a shit ton of background noise within my live streams, like especially like when it's like family conversations and all that shit is all left to being off air. But anyways, back to the main topic. StarTech.com, hard to find, made easy. Well, yeah, that's the slogan, but what contradicts that slogan is that there's actually a low supply of StarTech. Well, there's a low supply of this specific product on Amazon, like as of currently, at this point in time. Especially as it's on sale, like, I wouldn't be surprised as it's selling out fast. But yeah, pretty much contradicts that slogan. But anyways, I'll share this on time to share this around on social media for those who want to keep up. Now for everyone can stay tuned. Just bear with me, people. And today, I gotta admit, it took a bit of time to get me started, just to like find my feet to get started with this specific live stream, just to, you know, put it out there. Especially with, like, you know, what's been going on around the house and all that. I've just been waiting for stuff to calm down, pretty much. And for those of you who want to join the commentary, and for those of you who are actually in the Dingo Crash Discord server who actually want to join the commentary, I'm in the general voice chat channel of that Discord server, so for those of you who are there, feel free to join the commentary if you want to. Trying to make this as, you know, eventful as possible. I say eventful, but you get the picture. But apart from that, it's a chill live stream. And yes, of course the music is back. But like I said, like, it's a work in progress, so the tracks, so like just having like one track looping throughout the entirety of a live stream it's pretty much, you know, what to expect from this whole work in progress sort of scenario that I'm dealing with for these showcase live streams. But yeah, just bear with me, people, I'm in a fuck ton of servers. Even though I put them in a select bunch of servers anyway. Oh, hey Bandicoot 15, welcome to the live stream. William just jumped in the comment section. But yeah, for those of you who are wondering what this is, I'll explain more after I share the link all over these Discord servers. Therefore, everyone's kept up to speed. I mean, yeah, I know, in a way I could, you know, commentate a bit more lively, but you know, it's a chill live stream. Okay, I'm just gonna see how it is as well, just so I know what I'm getting myself in for. Okay, it's all sounding good so far. I don't even know why auto plays sometimes whenever you like good so far. You know, just I don't even go on your own channel page. But yeah, I got 3 live viewers so far, so that's cool. Anyways, now that I've pretty much whipped out the link across all possible servers, now you can actually get more into the product of pretty much what this is. So yeah, you can tell this is pretty much like a HD capture card, but this specific capture card is this right here. This capture card is pretty much like one of those capture cards that are more designed towards actually capturing footage off, you know, older games consoles, like, you know, classic legacy games consoles from like the 5th generation and below, well technically the 6th generation and below. But yeah, it takes in HDMI, DVI, VGA component, S-video and composite, so like it's the complete package for like a modern solution to capture old consoles, especially with the way this capture card deals with signals. And I think I'll get more into this like the second, like when I start actually, you know, showcasing the product. And hey little Garbo64, welcome to the live stream. I got 3 live viewers so far. Wait, I think I'm gonna re-ping in case, because some people, because I know that a post accidentally went off in one of the servers when it wasn't even supposed to, because of course I was finding my feet now. Hey Stefan, welcome to the live stream. He says, the fuck is this? Mr. PG doing some streams. Hey, and Mr. SV happens to step up in the building. But yeah, also feel free to join the commentary if you're free, because it would help. It's like, hell yeah. But yeah, as I've pretty much explained to those who were here earlier, this is pretty much like a modern solution for older consoles. He's like, I'm good mate. Alright, cool. Hey Yash, welcome to the live stream. Says, hey Pedro, how you doing? Hey Yash. Yeah, well, great to be doing this live stream right now. How you doing? But yeah, cheers for stopping by everyone. Also, before I forget, honourable shoutouts to Mr. Original Name and James the Crimson Dragon for your previous donations within past live streams. Of course, every donation is appreciated. It's not an obligation as long as you're generous enough to donate out of, you know, your own free will, then feel free to do so. It's not an obligation for anyone. Okay, so now I've pretty much said what I needed to say about like the product itself, so now I can just jump in. By the way, the track that you're hearing in the background is pretty much like the same sort of theme tune that My Life in Gaming use, but like the track itself is pretty much like an instrumental loop sample splice of an actual song called like Matthew McChesney Principle. That's the name of the track. But yeah. But this is a loop splice, you know, replacing pieces of, well, dialogue and lyrics and stuff. Oh hey, I see it's bumped up to 7 viewers. Welcome to the live stream, people. Yash is like, I see, looking forward to the video capture device. I'm good as well. Just woke up. Lil God was like more than halfway to 1,000 followers, dude. Tell me about it, bro. Man's pumped for the road to 1K on this game. I mean, on this platform. But yeah, I apologize if, like, you know, my commentary isn't as much up to scratch as I'd like it to be, but I still appreciate everyone stopping by. Okay, so now let's move on to the product itself. So here we have it, the StarTech USB3HDCAP. Right here. This is pretty much like it's pretty much like an old classic, you know, capture card solution for newer games. I know I could like be commentating better, but I'm just getting this done. And for those of you who want to help out, feel free to join the commentary. If you're free, Yash, feel free to do so, because it would actually help a lot. Okay, I'll read some of your comments just to like help out too. Lil Gobber says, I'm still trying to get used to Streamlabs and such for future streams because I want to have a layout and such. That's cool. I mean, you could build on the commentary a bit. Stefan's like, I would have no clue what to say. I would have, but I'd have no clue what to say. Alright. But yeah. Anyways, this right here, this capture card right here is pretty much like a modern solution for capturing old consoles, recommended by big names such as EposVox, who's also recommended this to another user called The Friendly Broski, as he was like, you know, doing his live stream showcasing his capture card. By the way, like, I remember what I was going to mention now in terms of like the experience, well not the experience, but like, you know, the whole, like pretty much like the transition of this device actually arriving here. But yeah, you're not going to believe this. Like this package right here didn't come inside an actual box like whatsoever. They just shipped like this package alone all by itself with literally no protection whatsoever, and it was literally just the package with the fucking label on top of it, and I had to like carefully remove it just to not leave as much sticker residue on it, which is a massive piss take. It's like, especially during a fucking, what you call it, especially during a pandemic, you'd expect them to take, you know, more precaution, like more safety precaution, but man, did they fuck that up. Lil Garba's like, I assume it's pretty expensive. Well, in Bandicoot 15's now up to 91 followers, so yeah, he's only 8 followers, I mean, he's only 9 followers away from 100 followers on Twitch himself. Oh, 10 live viewers now, nice. Honestly, I appreciate everyone stopping by, especially with like how this live stream has been going. I know the commentary could have been better beforehand, but in a way, it's improving. Okay, yeah, I should like, yeah, a bit of a laugh there, but yeah, I should like talk about lazy and carelessness for the, oh wait, I'm reading this off my phone, so like, no wonder I can read it properly. It says, talk about lazy and carelessness from the command. Wait, is that meant to be a typo, or is that an actual word? It's like, command, shipping company. Oh, company and shipping company. Fucking hell, man. Fucking typos. Like, way to trip the live streamer up. But yeah, tell me the fuck about it. Actually, like, I don't think it's to do with StarTech themselves. I think it's just to do with Amazon especially. I mean, I'm not surprised from Amazon themselves. Like, considering, you know, they have a reputation. Little guy was like, to be honest, I want to wait until I get an actual PC to get a capture device, since my current laptop will sadly have hiccups if I try streaming, lol. Yeah, sometimes it's best to wait out, although like, the specs of this doesn't even require a lot, so this capture card shouldn't be a problem even if you have like a potato type of computer, whether your computer's a fucking toaster. Unless it has like below 2 GB of RAM, then yeah, you're fucked. But presumably you don't have that much of a potato of a computer, little Garbo, so like, it shouldn't be a problem for you, for your situation personally. Yeah, it's just carelessness from the actual company and the shipping company. It's fucking piss take. It says my phone at times pisses me off, tell me about it. Little Garb was like, for now I'll stick to PS4 games because that allows streaming without the capture device. Yeah, perhaps so, but then it has its limitations. Anyways, like another big selling point about this capture card right here is that it uses USB 3.0, which you know, the USB 3.0 interface allows, like, you know, zero lag, or like low input latency, or in other terms, instant game preview. Like on the actual, you know, pretty much an instant preview of your gameplay footage to actually show up on your PC, unlike its predecessor. Well, not technically its predecessors, but the predecessors of its competitors like Elgato. Well, then again, I wouldn't say competitors either, but it is what it is. But yeah, pretty much, it takes what the original Elgato game capture HD can do, but it has that added bonus of, what you call it, has that added bonus of the instant game preview. Lil Garber says, even though I heard Xbox One can be used as a capture card to stream Switch games. Yeah, but then there's also like HDCP because of like the whole One Guide shit, or whatever the fuck it is. He also says, also I'm hoping streaming on PS5 is a lot better. Yeah, most probably will be. Well, to some extent anyway. But yeah, sorry about that. I had to switch to OBS. I'll try and read off my phone to the best of my abilities, but we'll see. So anyways, now I'm gonna showcase the product itself finally, so we can get on with this, because I know some of you have been waiting. And also, yeah, it's about time we've started to get some sunlight in this house. Sunlight at the end of February. We're approaching spring now, people. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, this is pretty much like the front of the box itself. It showcases pretty much what it says in a nutshell, along with like the languages that translate what, you know, the description says. And they treat it as like a part. Like pretty much a part to what? Like a peripheral per se, and not just as opposed to an actual device itself. But yeah, it is technically a device itself. So yeah, pretty much like the box itself is basically self-explanatory. It says as much as it can. It pretty much says almost the same thing on like every part of the box. See, I'm just showing every corner just so everyone gets the picture. And back here it pretty much just says the same stuff, but as you can see it also says the system requirements. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Lil Garbo, getting this shouldn't be a problem for you, especially since like it would pretty much require you to have this PC specs that are also capable of taking in an input signal from the original Elgato, and this is a step up from that because this uses USB 3.0 technology. I mean, a USB 3.0 a USB 3.0 interface instead of a USB 2.0 interface with the whole instant gameplay preview feature that it has to offer. And they put a barcode over here. I'm not sure whether that's StarTech's doing or whether that's Amazon's doing, but being measures have to be taken. So yeah, the specs, they don't ask much. Like, all you need is an available USB 3.0 port, an i3 dual core 2.8 GHz or higher as like your CPU. Your CPU is required to have an Intel i3 dual core 2.8 GHz or higher in order to, you know, actually be able to maintain it. So yeah, no GPU is required for this, and the RAM should be at least 2 GB or higher. So yeah, it's not such a heavy requirement. It's not such a hefty requirement whatsoever. And I'm not sure like about Mac users, but it only states Windows. It only states like Microsoft operating systems. So it goes as far back as Windows XP, for fuck's sake. That's like how much it doesn't. That's pretty much like how, you know, much minimal of a strain that this capture card would actually put on a computer. Then again, like, I haven't tested this out on Macs whatsoever, so like, we'll have to see. Even though I don't have one myself. So yeah, for those of you who have a Mac, I'm not sure, but for what this capture card is, in a way it's worth the investment, just to test out. And yeah, here are pretty much the inputs right here, and even though they don't put like a bold title for inputs, they should mention that. But anyways, yeah. Pretty much like the inputs here are HDMI, DVA, VGA, component, S-video, and composite. Yeah, and composite is like the regular EV. But yeah, they just finish it off with audio and video, source with cabling, DVD, DVR, VCR, etc. So yeah, or etc. Like, that's how like the. So yeah, that's just them giving examples, and of course, what's contained in the box: a USB 3.0 video capture card with, or video capture device. Man, I can't fucking speak for shit sometimes, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much what's contained inside this. So yeah, the capture device itself, an AV breakout cable, DVI to VGA video adapter, a USB 3.0 cable, software installation disc, and an instruction manual. So yeah, that's pretty much like everything that's been stated in this, and since there are no comments, but I'll check to see like what's going on. Okay people, so like, yeah, I apologize if you guys just want to see the content straight away, so yeah, I'll just get to that. Sometimes performance anxiety doesn't help either, but you know, it helps to get this out of the way. Anyways, now to open this up. Okay, so first off we have the instruction manual and the installation disc over here. And I'll just showcase what they look like, just to give you guys like an idea of what it is. Okay, so like, this is the installation disc for the software that you would typically install, by the way, as recommended by professionals. Like, it is recommended to like completely ignore the software itself and actually just use the StarTech within OBS. Like, what's highly recommended for you lot to do is to go to the official website. What the fuck's a website? Like, legit. Man. I just hate those moments where I just can't talk for shit during a fucking recording or a live stream, but yeah. But yeah, pretty much, this is like, you want to avoid the software at all costs, as EposVox had mentioned this shit is hot garbage and should be ignored immediately. Just like chuck out the window, why don't you? But yeah, like it's highly recommended. Yeah, it's either hot garbage, hot trash, however the fuck you wanna put it. But anyways, long story short, you wanna avoid this software at all costs, as it's highly recommended to just go to the official website to download the official driver for this specific capture device, the StarTech USB3HDCAP. Which of course, like, they mention on the disc. Of course, like, they mention the actual part label per se on the disc, but it's not, you know, recommended to install. And yeah, it says it comes with the encoder, but you could like download it like straight away from, you know, the official website anyway. And this is pretty much like what the disc looks like out of the cover, just to like showcase all of its contents. So yeah, but apart from that, just avoid this at all costs. It was just for showcase purposes, people, nothing else. And the instruction manual, of course, is also, it's pretty much basic. It pretty much just points out everything that you need to know in terms of like its connections and everything, and its specs and stuff, which of course we've already covered. So like it showcases, wow, like this goes as far back as sites like Streamcatcher and shit. Actually no, I think Streamcatcher is like something else. But like earlier on I actually saw, wow, like this goes back far as fuck. Like it shows sites like Justin TV and like the old Twitch, and pretty much the old layout for Twitch as well. Man, what a throwback that is. Like it's also made for streaming. So it's a good streaming solution as well. But of course, it's highly recommended to use it with OBS. And they even advertise products like XSplit and stuff. XSplit, Wirecast, and Flash Media Encoder. Man, I remember these programs. As a matter of fact, I still have XSplit as well. And Streamcatcher, I believe it's something of its own. But I never really fixated on that. But yeah, Justin TV, that's something I've never, or Justin.tv, that's something I haven't seen in such a long ass time. I know like, this stuff isn't clear, especially with the lighting and everything, but you have to take into account, like, the design of this room isn't very big, it's not such a massive room, so yeah, this is what we're gonna have to deal with. Okay, so before we get into the capture card itself, I'll showcase pretty much all the adapters, or pretty much like all the cables that you use to actually plug into the capture card. Okay, so over here we have the AV Breakout Cable, which allows for composite and S-video connection for those of you who want to hook up your classic consoles via composite or HD. I mean composite or S-video. Like HD's got nothing to do with this shit. Because like, and this is pretty much like just a basic capture solution just for those who don't want to go for RGB, but of course like RGB is recommended. But then again, for RGB you're gonna require like some sort of adapter in order to connect to like either like a transcoder like through the component. It'll have to be like an RGB SCART to component cable like video transcoder that you gotta use. And over here is the component cable breakout, which pretty much like is useful for consoles like the 6th gen consoles such as the PS2, original Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, and also the Wii, which is a 7th generation console, but it didn't adopt HDMI connection. So yeah, this is pretty much here we have a component connection, which of course you can hook up a console that you're using an RGB SCART cable with via an RGB SCART to component transcoder, as I've mentioned previously. So yeah, apart from what's previously mentioned, like this is pretty much like the basics of what you could use if like you're not forking out for extra add-ons. And I know I could like add more to the stream, but in terms of the commentary, but it is what it is. And hey, HappyJackita, welcome to the live stream. He says, good morning. Yeah, it's pretty much midday over here right now. It just hit 12 o'clock. But yeah, cheers for stopping by, bro. HappyJackita up in the building. By the way, like before we go off on a tangent, also here we have a component, well not a component, but like a DVI to Vga converter, since, well, I'll explain later for what it's actually, you know, used for, well, where you actually connect it on the capture card. Since it doesn't have a Vga port, it comes with an adapter to compensate for that. So yeah, this capture card is not only designed for all the consoles, like, it's not just designed for like 7th gen consoles, well, 6th generation consoles and below. It's also designed for classic PCs that didn't adopt HDMI interface yet. It didn't adopt the HDMI or DisplayPort interface yet, like during its prime, during its period of time. And last but not least, we have the USB 3.0 cable right here, which of course goes without saying that you hook it up to your PC with it. So yeah, it's also useful how this capture card doesn't require a power supply either. And it saves, like, it makes cable management less of a bitch. But anyways, now here we are with the actual capture card itself. It's a lot smaller than anyone would have pictured it, but then again, I'm not surprised by its size. And here we have it, people. The StarTech itself, the StarTech USB3HDCAP. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called. I just, in a way, blanked out on its name for some reason, but yeah. It's nice that it comes covered in plastic as well. And I hope it pretty much lives up to expectations with, like, you know, what it can do. Especially when it comes to testing out. Okay, so like, I'm just gonna remove the plastic quickly. So yeah, it looks really sick, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm not gonna show it directly because I really don't want it reflecting off of me, so yeah. Just take it off with precision. I savor the moment. And wow, it looks sick. Especially for a small device. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks awesome for what it is, especially like what it's designed for. Now pretty much like its interface, I'm just going to showcase the interface and then get more into what the actual capture card itself actually is. Well, in terms of what it's based off anyway, but yeah, anyways, here we have the output slot for the USB 3.0 cable, which obviously you hook up to your PC. And over here we have HDMI port, since this is pretty much also made for consoles that also have a HDMI interface with, like, it's pretty much almost like an added bonus in a way, even though people treat this as an added bonus. But yeah, either way, but the HDMI port can be used for like multiple purposes. It could either be used for like more modern consoles, especially such as like, you know, the PS4 and Xbox One and upwards, or even like the PS3 and Xbox 360 and upwards. Or it could be used with like any adapter that you could use in order to, you know, connect via HDMI. If like, you know, the main inputs on the capture card itself don't suffice or meet expectations per se. So yeah, like this port is also useful for devices such as, you know, an RGB SCART to HDMI adapter, or a component to HDMI adapter, or converter, or upscaler, however you want to put it. And it's also useful for devices such as the XRGB Mini FrameMeister and the OSSC, aka the open source scan converter, the OSSC, or the OSSC 1.6, which is pretty much the latest model, well, the current latest model of that product anyway. And also, last but not least, the RetroTink products, which I've also showcased previously, if some of you are aware. So it's useful for those sort of devices as well, and also that's another reason why I actually got this capture card, to get in to what I'm pretty much like was trying to get into earlier, but I didn't want to reveal too much back then. It's pretty much, in terms of RetroTink specifically, Mike G himself, he personally does not recommend like the RetroTink product to be used with capture cards such as the Elgato, because of the way it handles its input signals, with how it handles sync and everything, because the way like the signal processes, you could be having like signal drops, especially during like the startup screens of your consoles, which takes away from the experience. And this is pretty much part of why I wanted to eliminate that, because this apparently has better compatibility in terms of like dealing with handling with better signals. And also, not only that, but I've reached out to another user who is actually using the RetroTink 2X, the original RetroTink 2X, which is now known as the RetroTink 2X Classic. The person who pretty much managed to successfully, you know, execute the full PS1 startup on a RetroTink 2X Classic. Well, for the most part, he pretty much like, he also mentioned that he used a capture card, that the capture card that he uses, well, I asked him whether or not he was using a StarTech, because of how it uses the same interface and chipset as the capture card he was using. Like, I asked him whether or not he was using a StarTech because of the interface that I saw, where you see like the no signal screen. But a lot of capture cards have actually, you know, adopted that specific interface. But yeah, this guy is called Amerika, but with a K instead of a C, who actually like did a live stream a while back, way back in 2018. I recently, like, well, I say recently, but like a few weeks ago, I reached out to him on Twitter, pretty much like speculating on how he managed to pull it off, especially with a capture card with pretty much the same interface as the StarTech. Well, he also mentioned, he mentioned that he actually owns, that he doesn't own a StarTech. He owns the Microsoft X-Capture 1, which is pretty much like, it's pretty much, which basically the chipset of the StarTech is actually based off of it. So yeah, that's that capture card. Pretty much with that capture card, this one pretty much uses the same chipset as the Microsoft X-Capture 1, which was also made by the same people who made the XRGB Mini FrameMeister, which is pretty cool. But honestly, like, if you want to get like the same sort of experience, I would actually recommend getting the StarTech itself. I would recommend the StarTech as it's like a cheaper option, especially since you can only purchase the Microsoft X Capture 1 from Japan, like from Solaris Japan, and like that takes a long ass time in terms of shipping, and like with a combination of Brexit and COVID-19, it's like no fucking way am I gonna opt for that when I can just opt for, you know, a more cost-effective option such as the StarTech. And they both use the same chipset, so like I'll have nothing to lose if I go for the StarTech. But not only that, he also mentioned like the reason why like some signal drops may occur in terms of like establishing the signal is like to do with the type of RGB SCART cables that you use. And recently I've actually received like 2 new RGB SCART cables for the PS1, 2 of different types, one that has a C-Sync signal, aka composite sync signal, and another that has a sync on Luma signal, and the difference between the two is that they handle composite sync through RGB. They handle composite sync through the RGB signals differently. So like I purchased them both just for the sake of testing them out, and if push comes to shove, like the HD RetroTink component cables would be the way to go. So yeah, he did mention he does not recommend RGB SCART cables because of that. He actually recommends component cables, well the HD Retrovision component cables over the RGB SCART cables, is due to how much better it handles sync, how much better it handles the signal in terms of like keeping like a consistent level of sync and not having it dropping in and out per se. So yeah, like he offered like a great deal of advice to me personally, and I've been taking that on board. And I know I'm not taking this as a direct solution, as he also mentioned to me, but I figured I'd explain why, just in case. So yeah, just to make it clear. But yeah, that's pretty much like a good alternative in case, like, you know, the component, pretty much in case, you know, the actual component input itself on the capture card, it turns out to have issues of its own. And also in terms of drivers, like some people recommend like custom drivers from the Microsoft X Capture 1, but as EPOS has tested out, like those drivers are not recommended to use for the StarTech. And why? Because like even though at some point they were running fine, when it actually came to him like just going through like binge recording tests or just recording footage in general, like in the middle he ended up getting a blue screen. He ended up getting the blue screen of death on his computer, so there's no point in. So like it's really not worth the risk going for those custom drivers, and you just want to go to the official site of the StarTech capture card itself and just download the official drivers for the StarTech USB3HDCAP in order to like save yourself the bullshit. It's fuckery that no one should ever go through. So yeah, it's like, and pretty much it goes without saying, like, you know, if you purchase a product from a specific brand, just like stick to the brand in case like that program is open source, and those drivers from the Microsoft X Capture 1, well, those custom drivers are clearly like, well, not as open source as you think. Or actually, I'm not sure exactly. If anyone wants to correct me on that, feel free to correct me, like on Twitch or YouTube, however. Just to keep everyone up to speed, however you please. But anyways, yeah, I've pretty much gone off on a tangent, but in a way it was appropriate based on my situation. So yeah, and here, of course, is the Vga port, which you can hook up like pretty much your old PCs via which, you know, have capture cards or motherboards that don't actually, you know, use an interface. Well, that don't actually use a HDMI interface. They could and just either use like a DVI interface or a VGA interface. You could just hook them up to here. I still have like an old ass computer that just uses VGA, but I haven't used it in a long ass time. And yeah, pretty much like this is what you would use to hook up to it. So yeah, basically you just like, if you have a device that takes in VGA but does not actually hook up, but you know, does not actually hook up like directly via VGA, this is what this adapter is for. And yet the Microsoft X Capture 1, in a way, also like, that's a plus on like the other capture card for the X Capture 1. What that capture card does is that it already has like those, inputs like implemented already, but at the same time it's like, what you call it, so like it has them implemented already, so therefore like you wouldn't require any adapters whatsoever, which is really useful. But of course, like, but for what it's worth, just for like a few inputs, just like for a few inputs and outputs, like it's still not worth like, you know, paying pretty much almost double the price of the StarTech. Even though like it has the same chipset and can, you know, perform the same functions. But yeah, it is what it is. It has output. It also has like outputs for every single one of them, whereas the StarTech is for every single connection. The Microsoft X Capture 1 also has outputs for every single connection that it has to offer, whereas the StarTech itself, it doesn't have any output slots whatsoever apart from, of course, the USB 3 out, or the USB 3.0 output slot, or USB 3.0, however you want to put it, just to like hook it up. Of course, because you need to hook it up to your PC. How the fuck else are you gonna do it? How the fuck else are you gonna hook it up to your PC? But in a way, like, at the same time, even like with or without output interface, either like with or without like output slots for HDMI and what else the fuck ever it has to offer, like it doesn't cost a lot to like get another splitter, even though like I know not a lot of people want to fork out extra money just to get a splitter, but HDMI splitters with like one input and two outputs, they don't typically cost a lot, so especially not in comparison to the capture card itself. So like just to get that one extra add-on, you're still not losing out in comparison, because you're still paying less than the Microsoft X Capture 1 itself. So yeah, this is still a more cost-effective solution that gets the green light in comparison. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that's all that there is to cover in terms of these two. Now over here you can either choose to hook up your composite cable. Wait, I'll just like showcase it. But yeah, either you could choose you have the choice to hook up composite or S-video. Now I'm not gonna actually plug it in because it's just demonstration, or component. Which is really useful. I know some people find that unnecessary, but I figured I'd just do that anyway. But like part of that does go without saying. But yeah, for those of you who are looking for this, and in terms of, so yeah, for those of you who are looking for this, like you can find it on either on Amazon or the official site of, or the official StarTech.com site itself. Hell, like, you can even find it on eBay, but I don't 100% recommend it on eBay, especially when it comes to people overselling the fucking product for like a high as fuck price. It's just not worth it. So yeah, like, the reason why I got this, as I mentioned before, is like another backup option, just to see if this actually does handle the signal better than the Elgato capture cards. Man, I was gonna say capture cards for some reason. Man, not being able to speak for shit during live stream sucks. But yeah, I do apologize for those of you who just wanna, you know, stick by and then just chill. But it's nice to see more people just coming by. I know it could be like, in a way, like in a better state of commentary, but it is what it is. And I highly appreciate everyone stopping by through the good and the bad. Yeah, little God was like, it's okay, everyone messes up words at some point. I know, but like, it's a piss take when it happens. It's always a piss take. But yeah, just try and like ease off the pressure as much as possible. And also, like, another thing I was gonna mention about like the add-on for the device. Oh wait, I didn't even switch for fucking... I didn't switch the program back to OBS. Well, I didn't switch like the overall view of my PC back to OBS, so yeah. OBS Studio. But yeah, what I was gonna mention about the HDMI splitter and extension is that, well, if you're using a PS3, like, that wouldn't even be a problem, because everyone knows, well, for those of you who have actually researched it extensively, or not just researched it extensively, but wanted to look for a HDMI capture solution for the PS3, would know that HDMI splitters bypass HDCP anyway, which is pretty much the protection that stops you from being able to, you know, capture footage off your PS3 via HDMI connection, just to stop people from like pirating movies and shit. But for those who want to play games, who just want to record gameplay footage from their PS3 games via HDMI, that's a good solution. And also, like, it goes hand in hand with the PS3, so like, honestly, if you actually bought this just to capture PS3 footage, especially via HDMI, then you have nothing to lose by getting, like, you literally have nothing to lose by getting the HDMI splitter, since it bypasses HDCP anyway. So like, and just like that, you also have a pass-through function as well. Like, it pretty much eliminates the need to complain about the fact that this doesn't have, like, it pretty much kills the point of complaining about the fact that this capture card doesn't have a HDMI output slot. Even though it would be helpful if it did, it eliminates the point of complaining about that for that scenario. And like, a lot of people speculate, and I'm not gonna lie, like, and in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie. Oh hey DanKilgrave, welcome to the live stream, man. I was trying to read your comment and like saying welcome to the live stream at the same time, but at the same time, like, I just fucked up. Like, my tongue decided to fuck up for whatever reason. But yeah, cheers for stopping by. He says, this is my favorite Spyro. That's funny, because I ain't even playing Spyro, but what the fuck ever. But yeah, cheers for stopping by, bro. I don't even have it set to categories either. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. I've pretty much just showcased the capture card itself, but here's like one last thing I'd say about the capture card. So pretty much I mentioned earlier about how it pretty much adopts the core inputs that the original Elgato Game Capture HD has, with like the whole composite AV input, S-video input and component input, along with the ability of being able to input VGA and DVI connections to it. It's interesting because like this is pretty much effectively what the Elgato Game Capture HD60, which is basically the successor to the original Elgato, could have actually implemented, because it captures 1080p at 60 frames per second, and that's one thing I didn't even mention. I could have partially opened with that as well, but for whatever reason it just decided to disappear from my mind. But yeah, like that's another selling point. This captures, what the fuck is captures? But yeah, this captures, man, fucking slurs are a bitch. But yeah, this basically captures HDMI footage at 1080p at 60 frames per second as well, along with the instant game view feature. So like, it's effectively like an Elgato Game Capture HD60S plus the original Elgato Game Capture HD combined. Even though like the funny thing is that the Elgato Game Capture HD60, which is the predecessor to the original Elgato, it could have implemented all these features, as well as like being able to record 1080p at 60 frames per second. Because that's exactly what this capture card is capable of doing via HDMI connection. However, the Elgato Game Capture HD60, they completely dropped the ball on these other connections that the original Elgato had, which I really don't know why. I'm not sure whether they were cutting costs or not. But at the same time, like, the way it handles signals, you probably would have dodged a bullet going for the StarTech anyway, but effectively the StarTech is partially what the Elgato Game Capture HD60 could have been, and also what the HD60S could have been, an extension. But the only drawback is obviously, as I mentioned before, like no HDMI output slot in comparison, whereas like every single Elgato game, or every single Elgato Game Capture, or every single Elgato capture card device actually has HDMI, or actually has a HDMI output slot. But like I said, if you have a HDMI splitter, that shouldn't be a problem, especially if you have a StarTech. And it's funny because like its predecessor, the StarTech USB 2.0, or the StarTech USB 2 HDCAP, it pretty much does what the original Elgato does, and actually has an output slot, but this one doesn't. But I think like StarTech were cutting costs as well by getting rid of the output slot, but I'm not entirely sure if that was really the case. But for those of you who want to clarify, feel free to do so. But yeah, this would be a product to recommend, although like I'm not sure if I would fully recommend it as of yet, since I need to test it out for myself. So yeah, I live streamed this just to showcase it, just to like you know, give you guys an idea of, you know, what they're advertising, or to give you people an idea of what this capture card advertises. And I know like some of you who probably like might have left because you had stuff to do, or left because you just wanted to watch something else, like fair enough. But for those of you that stuck around, I highly appreciate it. But yeah, I'll just chuckle this thing. Okay, so I've pretty much I've showcased like all the products and everything, and it's like Okay, so I've showcased all the contents of the box, and now it should be like the time to wrap up the live stream. But yeah, once again, massive shoutouts to EPOS box and stuff. Like, people have been calling this like the near perfect capture card because of the fact that it's pretty much a mixture of old consoles. Well, not a mixture of old consoles, but it has the mixture of the ability of being able to capture old consoles on top of brand new consoles, or capture footage of classic consoles, as well as footage from modern consoles. Okay, like, that does look a bit better, but anyways, I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, I apologize if some of you like weren't a fan of the presentation. I mean, for my personal situation, I did the best I could, but it is what it is. Now, if anyone like has any questions of this, like for this device specifically, like feel free to drop them in the chat, because like, it'd be interesting to know like people's opinions and everything, and pretty much like, you know, like pretty much like, you know, your plans to actually capture, like old consoles in comparison to like capture new consoles. Because I know the fact that, the friendly broski was aiming to capture Nintendo 64 footage to my memory. And once again, like, I'd like to give shoutouts to EPOS Fox and the Retro Broski. Well, I mean the friendly broski. I mean, sometimes I end up calling the rest the Retro Broski, but yeah, pretty much like these two content creators over here, they've pretty much highlighted this capture card on, and are pretty much like, you know, describing it as the near perfect capture card, or like a somewhat of, well, I wouldn't exactly say a flawed masterpiece, but it's like, it's a nice backup to have, especially when it comes to, you know, capturing old consoles. Excuse guys, but yeah, pardon me. And on top of that, in terms of like, you know, the way the RetroTink handled signals, even my AverMedia Live Gamer 4K like had issues with like signal drops and shit. So yeah, that's actually part of why I also got the StarTech, just to like test it out to see if it handles better. Then again, like, I'm not taking anyone's advice as like a direct solution, but more as something for face value, as like a peace of mind, as like a general idea of what I could potentially use in order to try and, you know, replicate what I'm trying to achieve. Or replicate the results that I'm trying to, you know, put into action, per se. And also shoutouts to My Life in Gaming, not only to the fact that they use this type of theme tune, but also based on the fact that, you know, they're also part of the inspiration of getting the best possible quality picture out of your classic consoles, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, shoutouts to like all those big names right there. My Life in Gaming, Retro RGB, Adam Korolik, aka Figure Out Productions, EPOS Fox, and also the friendly broski. So yeah, that pretty much like wraps up this live stream, well, this specific showcase live stream right here, especially since I've just stopped the track, especially given like how long it is, and I don't want to loop it on for much longer. But for those of you who stuck around, I highly appreciate it, and I'm about to raid someone, so for those of you who want to stick around for the raid, for whatever's up next, feel free to stick around. For those of you who want to jump onto the next person's live stream, Yeah, I know last time I was like I didn't raid anyone in case I was gonna do this live stream straight afterwards, but because of course like it was unforeseen circumstances that I was gonna postpone this specific showcase live stream. And you know, it's like I said before, there's no point in just raiding someone and then just hanging around in the chat for like 5 minutes and then fucking off. It's better to like, if you want to raid someone, you just want to, you know, spend a good amount of time in their chat, or just like make decent conversation and not just be there for like 5 seconds and fuck off. But yeah, apart from that, it's better to you know, raid someone when you're actually intending to stick around. But yeah, anyways, enough of that. I'm not gonna go on a tangent about raids. But yeah, I think I'll find someone to raid before I actually end off this live stream. But apart from that, does anyone happen to have like any interest in terms of, you know, capturing old consoles as well as like brand new consoles, for those of you who are looking into it? Because it would be interesting to know. I think I might search around categories to see who's live. Okay, bear with me people, about to raid someone. You know, sometimes it can be like crazy to, you know, pick whoever you want to raid, but you know, it is what it is. Like, there are some people doing like 10-hour live streams and some people doing like 12-hour live streams. But then again, you never know. But yeah, just seeing who I can raid. Okay. Yeah, I just found someone to raid. Okay, now we can end this off. Okay, so that's pretty much okay. Even though I have a glass of water, like, it's still fucking with my throat. Yeah, let me just go on OBS. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up. Everything I have to showcase and cover in this live stream. That's pretty much the end of the live stream itself. Okay, I apologize for that. I just had to, you know, just tell someone to pipe down, but you know how it is. But yeah, I'm ending off the live stream anyway, and for those of you who want to stick around for the raid, don't nobody go anywhere. Alright, so that's officially the end of this live stream. Time to wrap it all up. For those of you who are watching this on For those of you who are watching this live on Twitch and haven't followed my Twitch channel yet, feel free and be sure to follow my Twitch channel to stay tuned and up to date for future live streams to come, whenever they may happen, whenever possible. And for those of you who are watching this archived on YouTube, feel free and be sure to subscribe, like or rate, however you want to put it. Drop a comment below to leave constructive feedback if you possibly can, and I'll share it around with your friends and family, whoever they may be, and see you lot on whatever's up next on both my YouTube and Twitch channels. Until then, and stick around for the raid for those of you who are watching this live. Until then, laters everyone, peace out.